India. We spoke about Gujarat yesterday.
Yes.
We spoke about Raigad. Now that tribal hamlet.
Development, yes, there's some development in that area.
100 plus families now, feared. Trapped inside that particular soil and debris. That's something that we're going to be focusing on. Of course, we're also going to be looking at Rahul Gandhi's defamation case, which has reached the doors of the Supreme Court today. So after that, that particular order that was denied by the Surat Court, the Gujarat High Court, beg your pardon, now, and the Sessions Court, now it has reached the Supreme Court. What next for Rahul Gandhi? That's something we're going to take a look at. The most richest MLA.
Well, that was really a surprise.
And because we've had a keen focus on Karnataka, taking a look at the Karnataka elections also. I was there on the ground in Karnataka this time around, and D.K. Shivkumar has a certain aura about him, the way he was commanding and controlling the KPCC. We saw it in the recent opposition conclave meet also. And D.K. Shivkumar is the richest MLA in India. 12 out of the top 20.
12 of the top 20 is in Karnataka.
Are from Karnataka. That's something that
I think that we need to discuss that really.
I was reading early in the morning, there was a little story about, yes, there we go. A 25-year-old man, we're also going to be talking about this one, got electrocuted while sitting on a treadmill at a Rohini gym. And it's weird because...
they first thought it was a cardiac arrest.
It was a cardiac arrest.
Later,
so more details on that coming up next. Our baby, our moon mission, Chandrayaan 3. After Chandrayaan 2, it's just a lot more emotional this time around. The fourth orbit raging maneuver has been successfully completed. We'll talk about that also because it was India's Moon Day yesterday, International Moon Day, that we missed out on. And of course, the Delhi Ordinance row, something that is part of that 31 bills that are going to be tabled in the parliament this time around.
And, they had argued saying that let legislative action happen, basically to say the bill be passed. But anyway, we will discuss about it.
Right.
It's also very important.
That has moved to the Supreme Court, beg your pardon, to a larger bench, a 5-judge bench, a constitutional 5-judge bench, and of course, bail to Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. A lot of furor on that on social media as well. People were getting angry just by looking at Brij Bhushan yesterday when he visited the parliament. So all of that coming up, ladies and gentlemen, sit tight. First and foremost, Varghese, on the top page, you read it anywhere. I have the time.
It's all about Manipur, and
it's all about Manipur.
Horrific video about Manipur.
Right.
Kabir.
2 months after the FIR and a day after this video surfaces, 4 people have been arrested. 4 people. Yesterday we had the first arrest. By the time we were speaking yesterday in the morning, there were no arrests in about 68 odd days. Now you have 4 people who have been arrested for this Manipur Horror.
And for a video that has been going viral, and there were rumors of this incident to have happened long time back. Therefore, it looks like the police did not, pay heed to those investigations, or probably an FIR they couldn't move ahead because
the infographic on the top of the Times of India. I'm just going to quickly read it out for the perusal of the viewers and yourself, Varghese. May 4th, around 1,000 miscreants attack Kangpokpi's B Phainom village, loot and vandalize all the houses before razing them. Cops rescue 3 women and 2 men. So these are 5 people. But the miscreants snatch them and kill 1 man who's 56 years old. Now there are different accounts of this snatching. Some are saying that the police had no other choice but to give them away. Some are saying that the police just gave them away. So a lot of discrepancy over there as well. But what is clear, certainly, is that the grip over the law and order situation is now non-existent. Next, all 3 women were stripped naked and 2 of them paraded. A woman who was 21 years old, daughter of the 56-year-old man who was brutally, killed. This woman, 21 years old, is brutally gang raped. Her brother, who tries to save her, is murdered right on the spot. On the 18th of May, this is after good 14 days, one of the 3 women and her husband who fled the spot get in touch with the cops in Kangpokpi. They are taken to the police station and a 0 FIR is lodged, which we were seeing yesterday on various news channels, on various debates and discussions on social media as well. Next up, from 18th of May, the next action comes on the 19th of July, and which is yesterday. 19th, it's the intervening time between 19th July and 20th July. That's how much time it takes. The video of assault surfaces 5 minutes after the Supreme Court says we will take action. If the government doesn't, the Prime Minister involves the Manipur in his speech right before the monsoon session of the Parliament. The opposition demands a discussion on it. The government says whatever, there's proper adjournment. 4 people have been arrested. Chief Minister Biren Singh addresses a press conference late last night, and he says that he was unaware of this. How is it that the Chief Minister is unaware of a situation like this when you've got the complaint that has been filed?
Clearly, since you raised that issue, let me tell you, I mean, for me, it was not about, since we've already spoken about the entire thing, it is about, for me, what struck in the papers, especially when it comes to Tribune and when it comes to the Hindu, what struck me was this, that SC deeply disturbed orders. I mean, what the SC says is that it is deeply disturbed. Orders center Manipur government to act. Now, does it take a court to do its, ask the government to do the duty of the day? That is what, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, how do, it's a violation on the ground. Of course, things had gone quite awry on the ground. But then, is this how it has to be in this country? Everything seems to be, you have to go to the court to have something kind of a meaningful justice. The natural law and order procedure should have taken place because the police were witness to what has happened. So they were naturally the police were supposed to take up the investigations on this. They were supposed to bring the perpetrators to justice, but it did not happen. I'll just tell you what the court has said, and Hindu has quoted it as well. Using women as instruments of perpetrating violence in a charged atmosphere is simply unacceptable in a constitutional democracy. I'm reading it again. Using women as instruments of perpetrating violence in a charged atmosphere is simply unacceptable in a constitutional democracy. We direct both the centre and Manipur government to take immediate steps and to apprise the court of the action taken before the next date of listing. Basically saying that it is quite disturbed with the kind of visual that we in fact see. These are the protests.
In Chandpur, you see the sea of protesters. They're all wearing black. All have come out against that particular video. I mean, at least it's good to see that you're not a kuki meitei when you're condemning the act that has been carried out against those women.
At the end of the day, how women are being used like what objects of your hate. This is the kind of situation that you in fact see over there. And again, staying with the quote, I'm just bringing you one more reference point.
Varghese, before that, let's listen into the Chief Minister of Manipur, CM Biren Singh. Yesterday, he held a press conference. Some crucial information that he said, and a lot for people to listen into. Let's listen into what Biren Singh had to say.
No, just suddenly, one video clip has become viral all over the nation, which was really shocked. And today, after seeing the viral video, all the legislature of the ruling BJP and the groups took a decision to condemn the heinous crime, and also we term it was a crime against humanity, and the state government will give possible all effort to get punish the culprit, the element at the highest punishment up to the capital punishment. We will make all effort to get it to them. And I, on behalf of the legislative party and the people of the state, want to appeal to the people of the state that we should make this event as the last against the women, sisters and elders. We should respect the women, we should respect our sisters, our mothers, we should respect our elders. That is why we started operation immediately after seeing the video clips, and now the state police has arrested the suspected male culprits, and the further investigation is going on, and those who involved will also be arrested and booked as per the law of the land at the earliest.
Well, and at the same time, you know what, Varghese, let's also take a look at what the governor of Manipur had to say.
ये जो वीडियो आया है, वायरल हुआ है, आज पूरा देश भी शर्मसार हुआ है और इसको लेकर कई लोगों ने बहुत सारा क्रोध, नाराजी, गुस्सा, मैं समझती हूँ कि जो जिस तरीके की घटना है, किसी भी व्यक्ति को एकदम हिला देने वाला, झंझोड़ देने वाला, जो कि आप समझते हैं कि मैं मणिपुर की एज ए गवर्नर होने के नाते आज मेरे प्रदेश में इस तरह की घटना होना, ये मेरे मणिपुर प्रदेश वासियों के लिए भी एक बहुत बड़ा मतलब ऐसी घटना उनको भी बहुत दुख हुआ होगा। कोई भी हो, किसी भी तरह की हमारी जो बहनें हैं और इस तरह से जिन व्यक्तियों ने किया है, ये बहुत ही हैवानियत कहना चाहिए और ऐसे लोगों के ऊपर तो जितनी से कड़ी सजा होनी चाहिए, उनको देना चाहिए।
Well, so, you know, now, Varghese, it's important to note what the Chief Minister said. He said, you know, the women, sisters and mothers. And I remember Friday Souza's, you know, reaction yesterday when she said that women exist outside the boundary and periphery of being a sister, a mother to somebody. They were also human
They have an
beings.
identity. They have an identity. They have a separate identity.
So
They can't be
again
dragged into this kind of violence where they are treated like property, and violation of that property is supposed to be the way you take on the, you know, idea of trying to humiliate the men that, you know, they have families from. Women have their own identity. They have their own rights. They have their own. That's why, you know, Chandrachud went ahead and said, the CGI has said, I'll just read that. It is the grossest of constitutional and human rights violation. This is what the CGI of the country has said. Chief Justice of India has said it's the grossest rights violation that has happened. So I think that is the level at which, and
but the Chief Minister at the same time, you know, it's important to note that the Chief Minister did come out. I mean, action has taken, even as the Congress says, too little, too late, and it's seeking the Chief Minister's resignation. The opposition, the INDIA, the latest alliance, they're seeking the Chief Minister's resignation. In Congress, the bigger voice saying it's too little, too late. The Chief Minister, albeit 68 days, I'm saying, all right, fine, we took action, arrest has been made. Now the Chief Minister says he's moved for capital punishment. Now, do you think this is a situation where we've come to a point where to lay balm on the tenuous state of Manipur, now you need to kill people, take their lives for... We've already had so many people killed in this situation, and to...
Kabir, I am not, we are not anyway going to sit and pass judgment on whether, what is the kind of, the law lets it take its course. But my question was very simple. This happened in the presence of police personnel, right? This happened in the presence of police personnel. For 2 months, nobody spoke about it until this video comes out. And what were the police personnel who were privy to this entire development doing? Did they report it to their seniors? And if they reported to the seniors, who told them not to file an FIR? That you go till July 19 to file an FIR.
That is the unanswered question. Why did it take the police 75 days and the video to make the first arrest? We've got somebody on our chat box also saying, why no action in 75 days? DIG rank officers from Nagaland and Assam have been moved to Manipur to have effective control and proper supervision on around 5,000 Central Reserve Police Force personnel deployed in Manipur. Operations jurisdiction of ranges have been redefined / modified, and 2 more DIG rank officers have been shifted from Kohima in Nagaland and Silchar in Assam to Manipur. Do you think that's going to have the right kind of effect now that we have DIG level officers on the ground?
My question is very simple, Kabir. May 3rd, the violence started. In 2 weeks, the security of that state was in the hands of the center. Already we did see high-level officers moving into the system. Then we came to know the challenges that the security, paramilitary as well as the police were facing on the ground, because of course it had become a huge issue about whom can be trusted, who cannot be trusted. Flag marches, everything was done. But still the violence continues. Why? and now more officers coming onto the ground. I mean, if for the last around 68, 70 days, if those violence that continued, if it hasn't been brought under control, the big question that we have to ask is that why is it not under control? And even after rushing in so many officers, why is it still not under control? It's like you have the army on the ground, you have the paramilitary forces on the ground, you have everyone on the ground. What is restricting them from bringing in peace? Ask that question.
Well, now I'm at a loss of words, because I mean, I was trying to tell you that there are a lot of people out there who are not saying this is 75 days, who are saying this is 93 days, 94 days and counting, ever since in April the court weighed in on this about the reservation status. But the ripple effect of Manipur is being looked at in the parliament also. Let's quickly give the viewers a little bit of a update on what the parliament. So the Prime Minister spoke. The opposition demands demands PM's statement on the floor of the House. The Congress says it's a little too late. The Chief Minister has to resign. On the other hand, Prime Minister spoke about saying, be it Chhattisgarh, be it Rajasthan, be it Manipur, essentially calling out the recent incidents of violence in
that happened
Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. And the Chief Minister of Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel and Ashok Gehlot, they've come out and said, listen, do whatever, don't compare us to Manipur. You can't equate the violence that's happened in these states to Manipur. Later on, BJP's press conference, Ravi Shankar Prasad, former minister, law minister, he said that the timing is suspect. Just a day before the Parliament session, why did the video surface then? Well,
my question is, that's
what everybody
is asking that question as to why did the video surface just ahead of this thing. But the question is, it's not about whether the video, does it matter that the video surfaced a day before your parliament session or not? The question over here you should be asking is, why is there one action taken when, an action taken only when the video surfaced recently? Why was it that on July 19th you had the FIR that was filed? That's the question.
Yep, those are certainly the questions that are still unanswered. And lastly, what I was trying to tell the viewers, Rule 176 versus Rule 267. Derek O'Brien, you remember yesterday him standing up saying, Rule 267, Honorable Speaker, we need to suspend anything that's happening in the court, on the floor of the Parliament, and we must only talk about this. This is what that is. What is Rule 267 and Rule 176? According to the Rules of Procedures and Conduct of Business in the Council of States, Rule 267 relates to suspension of rules. It says any member may, with the consent of the chairman, move that any rule may be suspended in its application to a motion related to the business listed before the council of that day, and if the motion is carried, the rule in question shall be suspended for the time being, provided further that this rule shall not apply where specific provision already exists for suspension of a rule under a particular chapter of rules. Short duration discussion, on the other hand, is a brief discussion not exceeding 2.5 hours under Rule 176. So 176 is what the government has agreed to, a short, small,
basically
2.5 hour time frame.
Exactly, restricting the time for that thing.
And rule number 267 is what the opposition is demanding. Suspend everything else and talk about Manipur. What's going to happen today, Varghese, is again, anybody's guess. Opposition chief ministers are considering a Manipur visit as well. This coming in from Mamata Banerjee. Well, we'll have to wait and find out as to how today plays out.
Because today is another day. Let's find out how it plays out in the parliament when it comes, whether the discussion is allowed the way they are asking for it. But at least they are ready to debate about Manipur. At least there's somewhere they must be debating about Manipur.
And I'm personally glad to see that people are going to say that it is a little too late, which it actually is. After
but at least they are debating. They've agreed to debate on it.
But there are arrests that have been made. 4 people that have been arrested. Lot of ethnic semantics at play over there as well. Who's getting arrested, by whom? But it's going to be interesting to see how, again, in the parliament this is going to be brought up. It's going to be interesting to see how the DIG level officers that have now been deployed in Manipur, one from Kohima, one from Silchar, how will they carry out their jobs? That is something that we have to focus on. All right, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, and Varghese, yesterday, did you feel tremors of earthquake in Delhi, in national capital?
I don't know about it, but I was asking, personally I was asking someone that was the ground moving, but then that person was like just looking at me and saying that,
well, the tremors could have been felt because yesterday in the wee hours of the night, Jaipur got rocked by 3 back-to-back earthquakes. We have information of those, and we also try to, Varghese, pick up a lot of, a lot of visuals also of how the tremors were felt. These are visuals from I was in the morning, some 4 a.m. in the morning is what we're learning. We're getting this. The dog wakes up.
The animals have that instinct to in fact find out whether an earthquake is at hand or not, even before it occurs, and when it occurs, they are much sharper when it comes to this.
And these were back-to-back 3 tremors. Back-to-back 3 tremors.
They are saying that the strength of
these tremors are around
4.4, Kabir. Oh, these are the visuals. That shows the CCTV. I mean, that is the CCTV camera that's shaking as that. But within half an hour, I mean, of course, they call it the aftershock.
And each of these, what do you call earthquake tremors that were felt? People, of course, getting scared. They've woken up. They've come out onto the streets. Each of these were successively, higher on the Richter scale. The first earthquake was 4.09. The second earthquake was 4.23, and then the third earthquake was 4.25. So 4.09, dot 23, dot 25. 5 kilometers away from Jaipur, 4.7 was also felt in some place, and around 4 kilometers away from Jaipur, you also, there was a 4.5 earthquake recorded on the Richter scale as well. So Jaipur certainly rocked. Seismic activity always scares.
I mean, it does scare, because India has a history of that seismic activity that we see. One of the biggest seismic activities have always been at the foothills of the Himalayas. We have seen how that is considered to be technically the seismic zone.
But you're the science guy here. 16 minutes. I mean, 3
see, that
tremors
could be, you would have,
within an hour.
So that
within a span of 20 minutes. How does that happen?
I mean, see, what happens is that you have the main earthquake, and then you have the tremors coming,
the aftershocks
as we call it. They tend to come one after the other, and that could have been one of the reasons that we would have seen. But having to feel this for almost half an hour, that's the question. I think scientists are also trying to figure out what could have been the reason for this. Of course, movement of plate is said to be something that is there, and there are some good reactions coming in when it comes to the on Twitter about how people are discovering. They're saying that really very scary moment. Bed, windows, walls were shaking along with a strange sound like some heavy metal object being dragged on the road. After some time, strong and wind blowing for a while. It was really scary moment. These are raw emotions that are coming out after people who have experienced that earthquake. And so this is the kind of
earlier on Facebook we used to have I'm safe earthquake recorded over here. But I'm safe. Are you safe? How about to tell the world you're safe? And the Facebook would put out a little statistic saying so many million people saved were safe at that particular time. This time around, you've had people come out on Twitter and really put out their descriptions, vivid descriptions of what they were seeing, what they were facing. We've got our reporter went on the ground. He spoke to a couple of people, brought in the early morning reactions. Let's quickly take a look at that as well.
3 झटकों ने राजधानी जयपुर को हिला दिया। राजधानी जयपुर में जिस तरीके से भूकंप के झटके सुबह 4:09 पर महसूस किए गए, लगातार बैक टू बैक जो 3 झटके महसूस किए गए, उसके बाद लोग जो है दहशत में आ गए, लोग अपने घरों से बाहर निकल गए। अभी भी लोग जो है दहशत में है, लोग यहाँ पर पार्क में है। किस तरीके से फील किया आपने ये झटके?
मैं इससे पहले गुजरात जब भूकंप हुआ ना, तब गुजरात में भी मैं था, वो भी झटके मैंने महसूस किए थे। काठमांडू में भूकंप हुआ तब मैं काठमांडू में था, लेकिन ये जो भूकंप झटका आया ना पहला, ऐसा खराब झटका कभी भी नहीं आया। ये तो लग रहा था कोई तोड़ रहा है बिल्डिंग को।
खतरनाक झटका था, आपने पहली बार फील किया?
हाँ। नहीं तो
बिल्कुल आप देख सकते हैं ये जो पहला झटका है 4.4 जो रिक्टर स्केल पे था, इसकी जो ये तीव्रता थी, क्या फील किया आपने?
आवाज़ आई थी बहुत तेज और ऐसे पूरा हिल गया था जैसे तो कोई बहुत ज़्यादा ही कुछ ज़्यादा हिल रहे हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा ही बहुत झटका
लगा। बिल्डिंग गिर जाएगी?
हाँ, लगा तो ऐसा आवाज़ ही तेज आई जैसे आज तो बिल्डिंगें सारी नीचे ही आएगी एकदम।
एक के बाद एक जो है उसके बाद 2 झटके और आए थे।
हाँ, एक बाद में 2 आए थे। दोबारा तो ऐसा लगा शायद कि पता नहीं कुछ लोग उठ गए जा रहे होंगे, लेकिन बाद में पता लगा ये भी झटका ही था, कि उस समय इतनी गड़गड़ाहट नहीं थी, लेकिन पहले बार के में गड़गड़ाहट ज़्यादा आई थी, आवाज़ बहुत ज़्यादा आई थी।
तो बिल्कुल लोग जो है दहशत और खौफ के मारे घरों से निकल गए। आपने क्या फील किया?
सर मैंने फील किया कि जैसे मैं सो रहा था तो मेरे नीचे से इतना भयंकर आवाज़ आई जैसे कोई विस्फोट हो गया हो। हम तुरंत घर के बाहर की तरफ भागे और लोगों को भी जताया, और मैंने पहले ही बताया आपको कि इतना भयंकर मैंने कभी नहीं सुना आवाज़ भयंकर।
ये 3 झटके जो महसूस किए, आधे घंटे तक लोग दहशत में रहे, लोग घरों में ही नहीं जा रहे थे।
हाँ, घरों से बिल्कुल बाहर थे, कम से कम आधा घंटा लोगों ने वेट किया है, और दहशत बहुत भयंकर थी लोगों में, अंदर जाने का मन ही नहीं कर रहा था लोगों का, बिल्कुल बाहर थे सब।
राजधानी जयपुर में खौफ और दहशत का माहौल था, आपने क्या फील किया सर?
हाँ, बहुत ही, ये समझ लो पूरा पलंग वगैरह सब हिल गए थे। बहुत तेज फर्स्ट वाला जो भूकंप था वो बहुत ही फास्ट था, और मैंने तो मेरी लाइफ में पहली बार देखा है ऐसा।
तो इस तरीके का भूकंप लोगों ने पहली बार देखा है, मैंने खुद ने भी इसे फील किया है। जिस तरीके से जो तेज जो एक धमाके की आवाज़ आई, उसके बाद में लोग जो है दहशत के मारे पूरी कॉलोनी में इकट्ठे। हालांकि राजधानी जयपुर में लोग इतने ज़्यादा दहशत में आ गए कि लोग हनुमान चालीसा का पाठ तक पढ़ने लगे। क्या फील किया सर आपने?
सर मैंने तो बहुत तेज़ आवाज़ आई, सारे घर में बाहर निकल गए हम, और वो पहली बार देखा सर।
जी आपने क्या फील किया?
सर बहुत दहशत का माहौल था, और आधे घंटे घर से बाहर रहे सब, और डर था एक, लेकिन आराध्य देव गोविंद देव जी ने थोड़ा शक्ति दी सबको, और इंतजार करे, उसके बाद फिर अंदर गए।
मतलब ईश्वर की कृपा से सब कुछ जो है ठीक रहा, कोई जनानी नहीं हुई। आपका क्या कहना है?
सर मैं तो ये कह रहा था, एकदम से सो रहा था, जो पलंग एकदम से हिला, ऐसा लगा था जमीन में घुस गए हम। मतलब फर्स्ट टाइम पहली बार देखा है हमने ऐसा भूकंप।
बिल्कुल। आपने?
सर झटका बहुत ही तेज़ था सर, मैं ज़मीन के चिपक के सो रहा था सर, पर हिल गया सर पूरा सर, तो बहुत तेज़ था सर, अंदर घर के अंदर रहने में बहुत डर लग रहा था।
तो बिल्कुल लोगों में खौफ और दहशत का माहौल था। लोग अभी भी है, ये खुला पार्क है, यहाँ लोग मौजूद हैं, लोग अपने घरों में जाने से डर रहे हैं। राजधानी जयपुर में जिस तरीके से आधे घंटे तक ये माहौल रहा, लगातार जो 3 झटके जो है फील किए गए, लोगों का ये कहना है कि उन्होंने इस तरीके के झटके ज़िंदगी में जो है पहली बार ये देखे हैं झटके। जिस तरीके से पहला झटका सबसे खतरनाक झटका था, हालांकि किसी प्रकार की जानहानि की सूचना नहीं है, और राजधानी जयपुर में सबसे ज़्यादा असर ये जो 3 झटके थे उसके बाद देखने को मिला। लोग घरों से बाहर निकल, अभी भी लोग जो है अपने घरों में जाने से डर रहे हैं।
Well, so Varghese, let me just tell you, if you were thinking that did I feel those tremors or not?
Actually, I think I felt those tremors.
You did feel those tremors, but the best part was that when the gentleman in the particular report says that the earthquake was really fast. The first one was really fast. I mean, I don't know how the earthquakes are fast, but we do understand the sentiment here. Yesterday we reported the Raigad landslide. Let's shift our focus here. Let's talk about the rain pain. Northwestern, India has been suffering with rain, and it's not just northwest India. You also have Telangana that was lashed with heavy rainfall. So Telangana, Gujarat, you've got visuals coming in from Dehradun. Jammu and Kashmir was lashed with rainfall, but in Raigad, the situation certainly, for which the IMD had also predicted a red alert
in Raigad.
You've got Chief Minister Eknath Shinde who visited the spot. Aditya Thackeray, Uddhav Thackeray's son, was on the spot. So basically, the new Shiv Sena leaders from both sides, you've got the UBT faction and you've got the Chief Minister himself. I mean, what a great photograph that must have been. You've got the Chief Minister who broke away, and then you've got Uddhav Thackeray's son. Anyway, I'm just digressing.
Let's go to the topic.
In Raigad, at least 16 people have died. Over 100 are still fear trapped, as this tribal hamlet seems like is pretty much underneath the debris. Chief Minister Eknath Shinde in the raincoat over there in Raigad, and the IMD had issued a red alert, which basically meant there was going to be incessant rainfall, heavy rainfall, 150, 200, somewhere between that.
And I'm just looking at the updates that have come on the rainfall. It is being said that when it comes to Mumbai, red alert has been issued for Thane, Raigad, Pune and Palghar, and also all schools and colleges in Palghar and adjoining areas have been shut, and Thane as well, to remain closed as of today. And then also it is being
schools
said
are also shut in Telangana and Mumbai.
The schools, I was coming to Telangana as well, and Telangana for 2 days, especially in the GHMC limit, they have declared holiday, and they are expecting heavy rains till tomorrow. And another report says that Gujarat, Maharashtra to get more rain, no relief from Himachal soon, is what the IMD is saying. Now this is a report that's come in the Hindustan Times, especially on the online. So online, all the articles they have updated on the rain, and they are all saying that just watch out, it's going to be heavy rains in all these states. Raigad also, there's an issue, Kabir, that they're talking that mining could have led to that landslide that had buried that entire...
That's interesting. So basically, there was a mine there. What are the semantics?
Well, what we understand right now is that there could be mining that could have led to, the soil being loosened, and this could have led to the landslide in that area is what the speculation is right now. Many of them are saying that you need to ban mining in Raigad and in Thani hills. This is what the Ishalwadi
Is that why
environmental
the soil is really loose in the area?
It could be because when you're mining, of course, you create a series of tunnels. You tend to create the upper soil becomes quite unstable because all this tunneling and trying to get to your mineral deposits is going to create a network of caves, and that caves do make it unstable in certain places, especially when rain and water percolates in. There could be erosion of these small calcite rocks that we see because they are calcium based, and that would again create porous rocks, and the entire structure starts crumbling. So that's a possibility that could have happened. But anyway, I'm just reading from Deccan Herald's report on that mining issue, what environmentalists are actually speaking about on. What they are saying is that a number of quarries are functional at various places in Raigad district, and it is high time that dedicated hill development regulatory authority is formed to check indiscriminate mining. That is what they are talking about. And environment lovers have been cautioning against blasting of hills, deforestation, and unregulated development on the hills across the state.
This is Maharashtra.
This is Maharashtra we're talking about. And they're saying that, the Irshawadi landslide is another wake-up call for all of us. Blasting of hills again creates...
But it seems like we just don't learn. I mean, we've seen Joshimath happen in front of us. And there's no kind of, pressure that has been elevated or taken away from Joshimath. The commercial aspect of Joshimath still exists, and the towns that follow before Joshimath. Joshimath is that, rest point before you went to your, you go ahead for your pilgrimages. Is the same happening in Maharashtra? You've got these, rampant mining.
Rampant mining, quarrying, blasting of hills. Now what happens is deforestation, the most important cause for landslides, because what happens is where the soil becomes so loose because there's not enough roots to hold the soil together, and when it rains the soil starts to get slowly it starts seeping out, and then the entire loose soil along with this thing has a concrete effect and just slides over the other hard soil which was underneath it, and that's why you have landslides happening. And so these are all the factors that are happening, and I think when we talk about landslides, all the kind of landslides that are happening, these environmentalists have been saying that these are eco-sensitive zones. You have to be very careful when you give permits in these areas, especially for quarrying or mining and for other activities at the hills.
Rescue operations,
the way you carry your mining is also important.
Rescue operations are continuing for more than 24 hours now. The SDRF, the NDRF, it's a multi-agency probe and operation that is already on, on the ground in Raigad district. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope we're able to at least rescue more people. At least 16 dead already and over 100 people that are still feared, trapped. It's been more than 24 hours, incessant rainfall, and an entire tribal hamlet that is now under the debris of this landslide. Let's move on, Varghese. We've got a lot to cover. Should we look at Rahul Gandhi's...
the defamation case coming up for hearing today?
In the Supreme Court.
Yes.
What are we expecting? What is it that one is supposed to look at?
This is after the Gujarat High Court upheld that conviction, and that creates a lot of problems because it attracts your disqualification, because any person who's convicted more than 2 years in a case, of course, they tend to be disqualified automatically from the parliament. And then you have this monsoon session starting without Rahul Gandhi. A lot of these politics are also involved in it. But then the argument has been that, they try to get that appeal in the High Court, and the High Court, of course, didn't look into it. Now, will that High Court order hold, or will he get some kind of relief from the Supreme Court is what we need to see. Of course, this is all over the Modi surname. Remember that in Kolar, he made
in
that
Kolar 2019.
In 2019, for that he said, why
are all thieves? Why do all thieves have the Modi surname?
So that became the issue, and a case was filed in Gujarat over that, and the court, in its wisdom, has found that he needs to be convicted, suspension of sentence, and he's been convicted for more than 2 years, and that law, in fact, tries to kick in.
So if you have a conviction of 2 years, you cease to exist as a member of the parliament. You
more than 2 years, yeah.
You stop holding all that office, and 2 years is the maximum.
8 years, and then there's an 8 years restriction on you contesting as well.
On you contesting?
And contesting as well. So, I mean, it's a
so
long
2
time.
plus 6 is 8.
8. So it's going to be a huge issue for the Congress, because he is the scion of the Congress.
The opposition alliance has been putting forth Rahul Gandhi's name like anything. I remember Nitish Kumar, Lalu Prasad Yadav talking about him being the Dula and will become the Barati. And the BJP earlier saying that, this is a bin Dula ki Barat.
We cannot deny the fact that the Congress is the umbrella party when it comes to INDIA, the India Alliance. My God, I'm just still not able to, how to bring that acronym to distinguish the country from...
It's India.
I mean, yeah, but we have to ensure that, it's political, it's not the country.
India is the alliance, jeetega Bharat.
Yeah. Now, don't confuse me further on this. But... Anyway, since we were speaking about that, and I think this case has its own undertones, and therefore let's see what the Supreme Court actually sees through this case, and let's see whether he'll get any kind of relief from it, because politically it's going to have a huge impact if he's going to stay out of the ring for a long time.
Well, so the Gujarat High Court on the 7th of July had dismissed the plea of Congress leader seeking a stay on his conviction. A stay would essentially mean that he would, essentially come back into the fray of politics. And this time around, the first day of the monsoon session
so you have,
was without Rahul Gandhi
so
inside the parliament.
Yes, if he doesn't get, he'll be missing on the monsoon session, he'll be missing on the winter session, and probably even the budget session, and after that probably we'll be see the elections for 2024. So that is one thing, and then whether he'll be able to contest in that elections is another big question. And of course, the people of Wayanad don't have an MP.
Now, the Congress leader in his appeal has said that if the judgment has not stayed, it would lead to throttling of free speech, free expression, free thought and free statement. Rahul Gandhi also contended that if the High Court verdict is not stayed, it would contribute to the systematic, repetitive emasculation of democratic institutions and the consequent strangulation of democracy. Wow, some really hefty words in there, which would be gravely detrimental to the political climate and future of India. But let me tell you, the parliament is not missing Rahul Gandhi, at least the first day. And
the first day, of course, the first day we had that statement, and then, they had gone into suspension.
The parliament is certainly not missing Rahul Gandhi. I'm sure Mallikarjun Kharge is also okay with Rahul Gandhi not being there for the time being. How do you know that? He's got, I'm just thinking out loud, sir. Don't put me on the spot. We've got other news to take a look at as well. How about we take a look at DK Shivakumar? We're talking about the Congress party. Recently in Karnataka, the entire, opposition alliance was, it was held. Karnataka Congress was supposed to be the larger message that was put out to other opposition parties that, look, we did it in Karnataka, okay? We did it in Karnataka, and we got a thumping mandate, and now DK Shivakumar, how he was right at the forefront, greeting everybody, Sonia Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, various chief ministers who would come, various opposition leaders who would come, and how he was, like he was just conducting and behaving. It was like the KPCC president, and I've seen that aura on ground myself. But him being the richest MLA in the country is certainly something that you can't just, bat your eyelid on. And the 12 of the top 20 richest MLAs being from Karnataka is something, again, that one has to look at.
1,400 crore, I think, is the assets that we're talking about when it comes to DK Shivakumar. And DK Shivakumar has, when it comes to Karnataka, we do see, once upon a time, you remember, Janardhan Reddy was one of the richest persons who had filed for his, another big name, the mining baron from the days of Yediyurappa era. And he was, in fact, the richest
assets worth 1,413 crore rupees, Varghese. 1,413 crore rupees is the assets that DK Shivakumar has. This, according to a report from the ADR, which Association of Democratic Reforms, and the National Election Watch. And that's not all. Karnataka MLAs dominate the list of the richest MLAs. I'm reading a copy of the Times of India in the country, with 12 in the top 20. The ADR report says that 14% of Karnataka MLAs are billionaires. That means they have assets worth 100 crore rupees or plus, the highest in the country. And the average assets of legislators is rupees 64.3 crore rupees. So if you're an MLA in Karnataka, needless to say, you're a rich folk.
So the second person is Mr. K.H. Puttaswamy Gowda, who's an independent MLA, and his assets are worth 1,267 crores. He is followed by Priya Krishna of the Congress, whose assets are 1,156 crores. And furthermore,
I'll tell you what again, Varghese. Just one BJP MLA that is in the top 20 list. That is HK Suresh. Apart from that, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 12 are Congress MLAs.
Okay, and another thing, remember I was speaking about Gali Janardhan Reddy. His position is number 23 on the richest MLAs list in mining baron Gali Janardhan Reddy. So he had floated his own party, and his most of his assets are reportedly in the name of his wife Aruna Lakshmi, who had contested the Karnataka Assembly elections under the banner of a new party. So okay, on the other end of this thing, we have Nirmal Kumar Dhara, BJP MLA from West Bengal, whose total declared assets are just 1,700 rupees.
Just, I like the just that you've added.
He is followed by an independent MLA from Odisha, who is Makaranda Mundli, who is 15,000, and Narendra Pal Singh, son of Aap from Punjab, whose assets are 18,000.
So Nirmal Kumar Dhara from Indus constituency in West Bengal with an asset of just 1,700 rupees. There is no crore over there. It's just 1,700 rupees. He's got no liabilities. Look at the stark contrast in the first position and the second position. It's exactly the same amount, but you just add a crore over there. And
yeah, I mean, I was just stunned with that only. 1,700 rupees is what you have.
I'm still taking this information in. Now, in the 2023 affidavit filed before the Election Commission, D.K. Shivkumar had disclosed that he has a total of 273 crore in immovable assets and rupees 1,140 crore in terms of movable assets. Shivkumar's liabilities are 265 crore rupees, while Gowda has 990 crore in immovable assets and rupees 276 crore in terms of movable
also,
assets.
interestingly, did you notice that of the 20 richest MLAs, 12 are from Karnataka? At 14%, the state also has the highest percentage of MLAs that are billionaires.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So mostly all the MLAs that have been elected this time around are billionaires. So that's another piece of quirky trivia that we just put out. Of course, the Times of India helping with those great infographics.
One small thing before we end this part of the story. The state which is second on the list is Arunachal Pradesh. 4 of those 59 MLAs are billionaires, giving it a percentage of 7, percentage-wise.
Okay, percentage-wise.
Yeah.
All right, Varghese. You know what? Let's also take a look at this. Another piece of information that I was talking about right in the beginning. How many times in a month do you go to the gym?
Actually, I don't go to. I do my personal exercises, so that's it. I don't go to a gym. But you seem to be a gym fan, right?
Not as much, but yeah. I mean, I like to run. I love my runs.
Oh, so
which is why I personally feel running in the outdoors is much better. But I have my own friends who come and tell me that, hey man, how about you hit the gym? It's good. You can pump some iron, lift some weight, and the treadmill is right there. You can go and run on the treadmill as well. Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen, and Varghese, you as well. And it's good that you're not going to the gym, at least not on the treadmill to run. The police have arrested a gym owner on charges of negligence, this in Rohini. That's the photograph that you're seeing of a 24-year-old man who was electrocuted while he was sitting on the treadmill at a gym in Rohini, and he died of the electrocution. The gym first told the relatives of this particular gentleman, who's no more with us, unfortunately, that he had a heart attack. Now, tired after a workout, 24-year-old man sat down on a treadmill to rest for a few minutes before he was electrocuted and later died. The incident took place at a gym in Rohini Sector 15 on Tuesday. The police said that the victim has been identified as Saksham Pruthi. Police have booked the owner and manager of Gymplex Fitness Zone, and just a weird name in the first place.
One
and
small
the owner, Duggal, and booked him under IPC sections 287, which is neglect conduct with respect to machinery.
Well, Kabir, one more thing. A man who tried to help the victim also collapsed on the spot. That is what witnesses were saying, but added that he came around and was unhurt.
So what's the problem? Was it like an electricity
looks like problem? There seems to be a problem with the electricity. There seems some kind of short circuit that would have happened, and probably the electricity was flowing through that treadmill. So some faulty machine issue could have been the reason.
I'm reading the copy of the Indian Express, Varghese, and it seems like they sent a reporter right to the to this gym called Gymplex in Rohini. And he says, when the Indian Express visited the spot on Thursday, the gym was found shut. Police said they have written to the MCD about the gym and the safety issues. According to the police, they received a call from Baba Saheb Ambedkar Medical College and a hospital about the man's death on Tuesday morning. DCP Rohini, who is GS Sindhu, said that local police reached the hospital and found that the man was brought to BSA hospital in an unconscious state from a gym in Sector 15 and died there later. He touched a treadmill at the gym and suffered an electric shock. Based on the medico-legal case and post-mortem reports, we have registered a case against the gym management. Saksham is survived by his father Mahesh Kumar, a businessman, his mother Kiran and younger sister Niyati. The family lives in Rohini, Sector 19. He was a B.Tech graduate from Bharati Vidyapeeth in Delhi and was working for a tech startup named Sploot in Gurgaon. Following the incident, the Delhi Gym Association released an advisory for all gyms and fitness centers in the city. It read, it is advised that all gym owners get the earthing. See, again, I was saying, it must be the earthing of their gyms checked immediately. Make sure no loose wires are hanging around the areas where people exercise, and get all electrical points checked by an electrician in the rainy season, because you're sweating also. You're constantly sweating. So there's a lot of electrolytes that you're losing, but that's not a way to take your electrolytes back in. But that's an electric shock. It's unfortunate.
That's unfortunate incident that has happened, and it's also one of those accidents, or I wouldn't say accident because there's a level of negligence in this. You should have checked your electrical equipment, especially in a monsoon season. But this is quite shocking that a person actually lost his life because of earthing problems in that particular gym.
Varghese, let's also quickly talk about our little baby that's on the way to the
Chandrayaan,
moon.
yes.
Chandrayaan 3. Yeah. It's completed its 4th orbit raising maneuver. I'll just read out the tweet and I'll give it to the scientist on the panel.
Not me, please.
You are, Varghese. India celebrates this tweet by ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization. It says India celebrates the International Moon Day 2023. So it was the International Moon Day yesterday. International Moon Day 2023 by propelling Chandrayaan 3 a step closer to the moon. The 4th orbit raising maneuver, which is earthbound perigee firing, has been performed successfully. But on the other hand, Varghese, there's a lecturer that has been targeted for a critical post. What is this critical post?
Well, it was a lecturer from, we in fact did speak about it yesterday also, but the thing is that it's about this lecturer, a Kannada lecturer who decided to say that Chandrayaan is just going to fail. And now the government of Karnataka themselves asked an explanation from him, under what context have you made that statement that you have made as such. And already they've asked him for that this thing. But before, it's not only about Chandrayaan. I just wanted to look at, there has been an effort on the Gaganyaan as well, and the Gaganyaan is also considered to be one of our most important missions that we are planning for. And I'm just looking for that article. In fact, if I get it, there has been crucial tests of the equipments that have been carried on when it comes to Gaganyaan. So I think that is.
But remember that day, all these people on the ground when the Chandrayaan 2, the mission lift off from Sriharikota, and it's completed 4 of the 5 orbit raising maneuvers before it finally takes that slingshot towards the lunar orbit. All the best to Chandrayaan 3. I'm certainly sure this time around we're going to make that soft landing on the moon, only to become the 4th nation in the world to do that after the US, the USSR, and of course China. Also, taking a look at a little bit of politics that's taking shape in the national capital between the Lieutenant Governor, Vinay Saxena, and Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. This in terms of the battle for control of the national capital. Now that Supreme Court has, they were talking about legislative action. They said they're going to, think about it, talk about it, but now it has been referred to a larger bench. It's a 5-judge Supreme Court bench. The Supreme Court on Thursday referred the Delhi government's plea challenging the constitutional validity of the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Ordinance 2023, something that is slated to be tabled inside the Parliament as well.
Let me just bring out some the aspect of this entire thing. Okay, in the reference order that is from the SC, why they have referred it to a larger bench
from the 3-judge bench.
From the judge bench. What they are trying to say is this: that the court noted that the power of the parliament to enact a law granted the centre executive power over services is not in contention. So that is not the question of whether the parliament can enact a law is not the contention. But however, this court, while deciding the constitutional validity of the 2023 ordinance, must decide if the exercise of such a power is valid. So the power of legislating is not the contention, but is it valid in context of trying to take over the state bureaucracy as AAP claims, or whether it can supersede already an existing legislature and appropriate those powers. That is in question.
Arvind Kejriwal has been successful in getting his way with the Congress party.
Yeah.
He says, I'll come to you, I'll come to you, but the Congress has to support me when it comes to the Delhi amendment, the ordinance bill in the parliament and the floor of the house, especially the Rajya Sabha.
But there's also one small information on that as well. SE says it will appoint interim DERC chief after there was no consensus. So the Supreme Court on Thursday said it will appoint a temporary chairperson for the...
This is why the Supreme Court came in. They said, do whatever, we need a DERC chief like immediately. A 3-judge bench presided by the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, said that there is an apparent conflict between two clauses of Article 239AA on the nature of law-making power vis-a-vis NCTD's constitutional structure of governance, and it needs to be resolved by this court. Explaining this, the bench, also comprising Justices P.S. Narasimha and Manoj Mishra, said a primary reading of Article 239AA, Clause 7, Part A, indicates that the law shall not alter the existing constitutional structure envisaged for the NCTD in Article 239AA. It has been moved to a larger bench because, well, of course, it is of grave significance.
It will in fact define about... I was saying,
essentially, who controls Delhi?
Who controls Delhi? Because
we were talking about how Arvind Kejriwal is now the boss of Delhi, and instantly the ordinance
comes. But that's what I was trying to say. Delhi has to be defined, and I think a lot of these things are going to define Delhi as a full state or not. And if it's coming through the court, then probably the court will define Delhi being a full state and NCR, because it is a very different creature. It's not a full state. At the same time, it's got the resemblances of a full state. And being an NCR area, you have its own local assembly and other things. It's not a union territory, though it's above a union territory, but just below a state. So I think the court will define clarity requires when it comes to Delhi.
Well, all right, that's all the time we have for you. Even as I'm perusing through the sports page, great test match between England and Australia. India versus West Indies. Again, Rohit Sharma scored another 80 runs, but Gill and Rahane could not really get that start. On the other hand, Zach Crawley for England, 189 in just 182 balls. England really coming back, backing their bowlers after day one on the 4th test of the Ashes. It seems like tests are being redefined back where it was sort of invented. Sexual harassment cast, Brij Bhushan gets bail after police don't object. So Brij Bhushan also out there in the open. Trials and error, how Indian wrestling has no real fixed selection criteria. That's another good read for our people out there. But it seems like we've pretty much covered all details and reports that we had to. We're going to constantly bring you other updates and details during the span of the day. Many thanks, Varghese, for joining with us. Upcoming at 11 a.m. is our special focus on Manipur again. It's going to be a long debate and discussion on Manipur. At 3 p.m. we're talking about the commando range of security forces, our security forces that actually pack a little bit of bite. Later on in the evening, the South Indian, the top story from South India. At 7, you've got the real point, the biggest news story of the day. And after that, global lens, what is happening in international news, even as you've got the Russians training, the Wagners training with Belarusians, and of course what's happening in South Korea in terms of the floods. We'll bring you all the latest developments. This is me, Kabir Naqvi, signing off. Keep watching Newsline Live.
इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं क्योंकि सभी लोग कर रहे हैं
Coaching is now starting from grade 3, 4, 5, 6.
कोटा जाने वाली बीच राह में आधे टेस्ट देके हैं सिलेक्शन